At exactly 3:17 every afternoon, my dog runs to the window, growls low, and then lets out a bark that sounds like it's calling my name. But my dog isn't barking anymore. He's just staring at me, and I still hear it. From the woods, it started innocently enough, just Max barking at something outside the living room window. He did it every now and then, usually at squirrels or the mailman. But one day, I noticed he barked at exactly 3:17 p.m., not 3:16, not 3:18. It became a routine. Every day, 3:17. He would drop whatever he was doing, trot to the window like a soldier on command, and bark, loud, steady, and focused. At first, I thought I was imagining things. But the more I listened, the more clear it became. Tyler. A pause. Then again, Tyler. That's my name. Tyler. Spoken in a strained, guttural approximation. I recorded it, played it back. It sounded like my dog was trying to say it. But how could a dog mimic a name so perfectly? I called my friend Kevin over. Tell me what you hear. He stood frozen as the bark echoed through the house at 3:17 the next day. His face went pale. Dude, that's your name. That's not a bark. That's you. Max stood still after the barking, as if confused or dazed. Sometimes he wouldn't even remember going to the window. One day, something shifted. Max ran to the window like usual, but just stood there, silent. And the sound still came. I froze. The bark rang out behind me. The same Tyler cadence. Only Max hadn't opened his mouth. I spun around. No one was there. Max turned his head, looked right at me, and whimpered. That night, I sat awake and thought back. I'd never trained Max to speak. He was vocal, but not like this. He was copying something, or something was copying him. The next day, I kept Max on my lap, far from the window. 3:17 struck, and like clockwork, I heard it again, this time from outside. Tyler. Max shook in my arms. Something was using his bark, and it wanted me to know after I heard the bark come from outside while Max was in my arms. Something shifted in me. It wasn't just a creepy noise anymore. It was deliberate, targeted. The following day, I left all the windows closed, locked every door, and turned off the TV. I want to be sure I wasn't being tricked by sound bouncing off surfaces. At 3:17 p.m., Max began growling before the sound even came. He trotted nervously to the back door this time, not the window. His ears were pinned flat, tail tucked. Then I heard it. Tyler. It came from the tree line at the edge of the woods behind my house. Max whimpered and scratched at the door, not to go out, but to get away from it. I stepped outside, holding my phone up like a shield. The voice came again, this time clearer, angrier. Same bark, same cadence. My dog's voice, but twisted, almost struggling to form words now. I walked halfway to the woods and stopped. It was quiet. The birds had gone. Even the wind had stilled. Then a sharp, high-pitched bark exploded from within the trees. Not like before. This one was wrong, like a recording being played backward, full of static and rage. I backed up and nearly tripped over something on the ground. Claw marks. 3 of them. Thick as a man's fingers, dug deep into the bark of an old oak. But what froze my blood was a height, 5 feet off the ground. Max couldn't reach that high. Nothing natural could have left those marks with that force. I rushed inside. My camera, which I had pointed out the back door all morning, had powered off, fully drained. I hadn't touched it. The next few days followed a pattern. Max refused to leave my side before 3:17. The voice would circle the house, barking from the left window one day, from the rooftop the next, always calling, Tyler. Then came the moment I'll never forget. Max stood at the front door, frozen, and outside, just beyond the glass, a tall, shadowy shape stood perfectly still in the daylight, its posture low, like a crouching animal. Then it barked, and I felt my name inside my chest after the thing barked from just outside the glass. My name carried in Max's distorted voice. Something inside my dog broke. He never barked again. It was as if Max knew that barking would only draw it closer. Every day, around 3:10 p.m., he'd start pacing. His tail dragged on the floor. He wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink. The moment the clock struck 3:17, he'd hide under the bed and press his face into the floor, like he couldn't bear to hear it. But I could still hear it. Tyler! Always the same tone, the same voice, except it wasn't coming from Max anymore. It now echoed through the walls, the vents, the trees. The imitation had gotten stronger, more confident. I set up cameras again, for this time with backup power and night vision. On the third day, one of them captured something I'll never forget. At 3:17 p.m., a shape appeared at the edge of the woods. Tall, hunched, skin like wet leather stretched too tight. Its face was nothing, just blank, pulsating skin where eyes and a mouth should have been. But from that faceless head came Max's bark, clear and eerie, calling my name over and over. It didn't move like an animal. It crawled like it had too many limbs, and not all of them worked right. Then it stood, head tilting as if listening for a response. From inside, Max whined but stayed silent. That night, I played the recording on my laptop. I slowed it down, amplified it. The bark had a second layer. Beneath the Tyler, there was a low whisper, "Come out." The next day, Max didn't move at all. He lay under the couch, unmoving, eyes dull. At 3:17, the power flickered, and from the hallway outside my bedroom came the familiar voice, Max's bark, calling me. But Max was still under the couch, and the hallway was empty, or so I thought, until the door creaked open by itself. The voice whispered again, closer now. "Tyler." I didn't move. Max growled softly, a final warning, and then silence. The air grew thick, and something heavy pressed against the door from the other side. Whatever had taken Max's voice, it was no longer content with calling. It wanted in,